you think?
Oh, that's right. What do you think this morning? That's what I want to know. That's what I want to know every day. What do you think? That's right. And we are right here, and let's see. We're on the radio. We're on Facebook Live. Yes, yes, yes. Am I? Yes, yes. I'm all good to go. How you doing? Hope you had a great weekend this weekend. Think about it now. Think about it. How many times do you really feel that having Monday off is the best way when we put all these holidays on a 3-day weekend? Personally, I think it should be Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So you have Friday as the holiday. Because that way you feel like you've gotten through the end of the week. It's like today. Everybody's like, well, ready to go back to work. Ready to make this thing happen if that's what you have to do. When you start on Monday, when you have Monday off, you have Saturday, Sunday, Monday. And then it's like, you can't spend the whole week trying to catch up. So personally, I'd rather see it with a Friday off. Of course, I got to mention, the county. The county had to get their day of, they're normally closed on Fridays. So they said, we don't get a vacation unless we take Thursday off too. So that way the county had Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So their normal day off, they're closed on Friday, excuse me. They try to cram 40 hours in those 4 days, and so they're able to take Friday off. But now, because they didn't get Friday off, this was a holiday, they had to take Thursday off to get their normal day off. Now, how does that work, folks? Because did they actually work 40 hours that week? I don't think so. So these are my questions. That's why they had to do it, because they're not supposed to work 40 hours when they have a day off. And normally they get Monday, so they're good. It doesn't affect everything. What do you think about that, since we're paying for it? What do you think about that? All right. Anyways, just a little thought of mine right here. So here we are right here on WCRS Radio. We are looking at a great day. We're live on Facebook. Love to have you join me on Facebook. That's WCRS 98.5 FM /1450 AM. And do sign up for notifications so that I don't know how you do it. Somebody's supposed to be checking it out how to do it. Not as me. I can't sign up for my own notifications. You can't. Wow. Okay. Anyways, we'll get that figured out so that this weekend, Thursday evening, Friday, Saturday, we're going to be out and about down there at the festival. We're just going to go live and just having a good time. So, let's get ready to talk about some of the things that are happening right here in our community. Was a horrible, horrible boating accident yesterday on Sunday, and I'm not really sure if there's any new news about it, but we do have the information on this that I wanted to share. This is just horrific. What a horrible, horrible thing to happen. Alan Sidney Benware Jr., the third 37 operator of a Yamaha boat, has been arrested and is facing 2 counts of felony boating under the influences. These charges are in connection, this is from the Index Journal, to an early Sunday morning boating collision in Lawrence County on Lake Greenwood near Harris Landing that resulted in 2 deaths and injuries. Responding officers witnessed the Yamaha collide with a now the officers were right there, witnessed the Yamaha collide with a John boat, according to information on the crash released by the South Carolina Department of Natural Resources. South Carolina DNR issued a bulletin on the boating fatality via email at 2:30 Sunday, stating that South Carolina DNR officers and investigators responded to a boating collision involving two vessels at 1:42 a.m. So this is, again, something that happened after midnight. That bulletin states preliminary findings indicate an aluminum john boat traveling on the water and carrying 5 individuals was struck from behind by a Yamaha boat with 2 occupants. 2 passengers on board the Lumacraft died at the scene. A female passenger was ejected into the water but sustained no serious injuries and was quickly rescued by responding officers. Another passenger from the Lumacraft was transported to the hospital and has since been released. The Lumacraft vessel had fully functioning navigation lights at the time of the incident. The bulletin states officers were not pursuing the Yamaha at the time of the collision. Our officers were stationary on the water conducting proactive safety operations when they observed the Yamaha traveling without proper navigation lights, the bulletin states. As officers prepared to initiate a vessel stop, the Yamaha collided with the Lumacraft. Our officers witnessed the collision and immediately rendered life-saving aid. They also took swift action to prevent the at-fault operator from fleeing the scene. Investigators are continuing to interview witnesses, reconstruct the timeline of events, and secure both vehicles as evidence. Investigators and a victim advocate are providing support to affected families. This tragic event serves as a stark reminder that alcohol and water are a deadly combination, the bulletin states. We continue to urge the public always designate a sober skipper. Lives depend on it. So that was what they said. They released, the South Carolina Department of Natural Resources did release a statement to the Index Journal. On July 6, officers and investigators responded to a boating collision on Lake Greenwood. There were 5 individuals in the Lumacraft and 2 individuals on the Yamaha John boat. 2 occupants of the Lumacraft vessel have died and 2 others were transported to the hospitals with injuries. The Lawrence County Coroner's Office is assisting with this case. So that there may be something else on Facebook, but that is the news right now. That is the news right now that I have. So this is a very, very sad, and certainly brings to light how being behind the 8 ball and being not in complete control of your faculties can have a devastating effect. A devastating effect. So just wanted you to be aware of that. Our hearts go out to the families of those that are dealing with this. Just a terrible, terrible, terrible accident. One that I'm sure was totally avoidable if the person who had been skippering the boat had not been in control of the boat. Anyways, we will follow this story. If we find out more about it, we will certainly let you know. And if anybody else knows anything, 864-229-7984. That's 864-229-7984. Please give me any information that you have on this. You can text me, or you can call, or you can send me an email to wcrsinfo@gmail.com. That's wcrsinfo@gmail.com. All right. Well, that's one of the things that we are following out there, and just a frightening accident. All right, we have other things to get to here this morning, so let's talk about some of those. One of the things I wanted to tell you, yes, there are bears in the woods over here at WCRS. It must have been the fireworks on a Friday night, July 4th. I was out. It was just, I want to say, dusky when everybody is getting excited about firing off fireworks. And for some reason, Penny goes, let's go outside, Mom, and see the fireworks. I mean, if this was Gracie, Gracie would have been hid in a corner, but not Penny. Penny is like, what's going on outside, Mom? Let's go out and check it out. So here we are going outside. And Penny would be a great hunting dog. Let me just say that. None of the loud booms, crashes. Now, when there were somebody was doing fireworks right up the street that had lots of color and everything, that kind of got her attention. But other than that, she's just like, hey, I'm okay. Let's go, Mom. So we're out there, and she is trying to decide if she needs to do her business or not. And out of the woods, swear to God, comes this animal lopping along the tree line of WCRS's property line out back there. Well, at first, my first thought was, because you couldn't see, it was like I said, it was dusky, and I was like, what is this dog doing on my property? And then as it got closer, I was going, oh no, it's not a coyote. Then I looked at it again. I said, no, this is not a coyote. It's too heavy a build for a coyote. And it was all dark. It was all black. And so then I've got Penny on her leash. She's standing up on her hind feet going, excuse me, sir, what are you doing in our yard? Please remove yourself. That was the princess in her. And she stands up on her hind feet. I'm holding her with the leash. This bear comes flying across our yard, and he is headed fast because I'm sure it was the fireworks that had scared him. And so I'm looking at it. I'm looking at this situation. I'm standing on my deck back there. I go, get out of here! Get out of here! So this bear comes around the corner, and then he goes flying into the woods. I said, Penny, let's get ourselves inside. So yes, there was an official sighting of the black bear right here in the backyard of WCRS radio. Now, there still are lots of sightings out there, so don't let that get you excited. I mean, I don't know how many bears there are. How many bears do you think there are? That's what I want to know. Are there bears in the woods? Yes, there are. Do we have bears everywhere? Yes, it does seem to do that. It does seem to be that we have bears everywhere. So if you are looking for bears, you shouldn't have to look too hard. I have seen some other sightings over the weekend. Somebody had told me that they thought that DNR and the Sheriff's Department had removed the bear over there by Miggs. So if they did remove it, guess what? It's either back or it's another bear. And then somebody else saw a sighting of a bear a good distance away. So I question, how many bears do we have in Greenwood? That is the question. Remember, please do not go up to the bear, try to get a selfie with the bear, stay away from the bears, and the bears will stay away from you. So that is the biggest information that I can give you, is stay away from the bear. Stay away from the bear. So, yes, take it away. Bears at WCRS have been seen right here. And I thought we'd had bears out here because Penny had acted a little strange. The other night, though, all she was like, let me go play with the bear. Let me go play with the bear. All right, so bears are still an issue right here. We did have that power outage, which evidently was 3 power poles three power poles that were got taken over, got broken, turned over. Let's see if I can find that story for you real quick, because that was something that actually was right in the middle of the afternoon. What's your first thought? Your first thought is, oh my goodness, we're having a power outage. Too many people using the power, right? Well, no, it was a power station was taken out by three power poles getting toppled, and so that caused a big problem here. Let's see. Okay, let me get to the story here. Gosh almighty, Ann. You do a lot of talking. All right. Let's see. Surely I can get here sometime soon. Yes, anyways, 3 power poles were out, and they had to, all of substation 5 is out. A tree fell coming out of the substation and broke 3 triple circuit poles. Wow. That was pretty huge. Not everybody was out of power. Durst Avenue, the parts of the bypass, but still put quite an area out within a couple of hours, though. I got to say a big shout out to CPW. They had us back on with power. So nothing too serious, and Penny was real happy to see that the power came back on. All right, so what else do we have to talk about? The big beautiful bill got signed into law. Now maybe we can read it all if we so desire to find out all the things that are in it. There is, the Democrats, of course, are just sure that the world is going to come to an end. They're licking their chops for the midterms. They feel it's going to give them a good positive boost going into that. I don't know about that, folks, but I do think that finding out the details in the bill certainly are important. So as we go forward here, we need to midterms. They feel it's going to give them a good. We need to make sure that we are finding out all the things that are happening here with the big, beautiful bill. A lot of people are excited. A lot of people are worried. Some of the shortages that are going to be coming up are going to affect even South Carolina. South Carolinians are going to be affected. This one of the biggest things that people seem to have be upset about is that that the SNAP program, the Medicaid, where they're going to just ask people work 20 hours a week. And I was talking to somebody, and they said, and there's ways around that for anybody that wants to get around it. So while they felt that it was a good faith effort to try to do this, that it probably would not be effective. So just FYI, as we go forward here, we need to midterms. They feel it's going to give them. All right, Ann. You have 2 versions of this. To make sure that we are finding out all the things that. Go away. Okay. How many voices can you hear at one time, Ann? That is the question. All right, we are trying to get this story going. All right, the Medicaid, that's a big one. SNAP benefits, that's another big one. But what are some of the other details in the bill? We hear that we're going to get a tax cut, but I do have to have issue with the tax cut, because it's not really a tax cut. It is a continuation of the taxes that were put in place back in 2017. So I hope the Donald is not going to come down on me, but in reality, we are keeping the same tax structure. Now, There are other things that have been added, like no tax on tips. I don't know whether the thing about no tax on overtime went through. I'm not sure about that. I tell you what, that is another big part of it. But there still is a lot to understand about this bill, and I know that we will be hearing about it for a long, long time. So let's just say that part is as part of what is going on. So what else is going on as far as that? That's the big, beautiful bill. About 50% of the people are happy, I guess, and about 50% are not happy with it. But you know what? You have to give Donald Trump his due because he is a leader who stands tall and doesn't back away from things. Right, wrong, or indifferent, he owns what he does. So I think that, that is refreshing. I don't know about for you, but to me it is refreshing to have somebody to say, yes, I ordered the dropping of the bombs on Iran. Who knows? We believe that they have been pushed back. I know they've been pushed back some. How much? Nobody knows. But he owns it. He owns the fact that this big, beautiful bill is his answer to what's going to happen with the economy and how our economy is going to recover. Only time will actually tell, and how many things will actually be thwarted by this bill, or how many things will be enhanced because of this bill. When will the no tips take effect? I'm not even sure. So there's a lot of questions, and in the coming weeks I'm sure we'll hear about it. But on Friday there certainly was a victory lap for President Trump. In fact, he was feeling so giddy that he and Melania even had a little public display of affection and were dancing the YMCA dance, the Trump dance, right there on the balcony. So, he was feeling a little froggy. All right. So that's my take on that for right now. We really just don't know what all is in the bill. We'll find out over the next weeks and months coming up, and what effect it will actually have on you and your pocketbook. Will it be a good thing? Will it not? If you work for tips, oh, that's right. You are still right here on WCRS on the radio. If you work for tips, it's a great day. Now, when it starts, I'm not really sure. I didn't spend a lot of time trying to dig into the details, although the Democrats certainly have made their point about it all week long. All right, so in other news, I want to make sure, in case you have to jump off, that at 5 o'clock this afternoon, we're having a special Meet Me at the Diner. Aiden Webb, who is a country roots musician, will be on the air live in studio with me. He is releasing a new song. He has a new song out there that he has created. It's going to be dropped today, and so you're going to want to tune in to hear all about that. And he'll be here from 5 to 5:30. Then at 5:30, we're going to switch over, and we are going to have I was just reading that, this list, that what happens is people sign up for interviews and then somebody drops out, so somebody else drops in when we're doing these interviews near the end of the week. Well, actually starting tomorrow. But back to this special Meet Me at the Diner today at 5. Aiden Webb, 5 to 5:30. Then 5:30 to 6, Local Focal will be joining us, Granger Smith, and talking all about what is happening with their part in the festival. Now, they are a separate, but they are part of the festival. They will be upstairs at Howard's having all local music. So we're going to talk about that from 5:30 to 6. Then starting Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, instead of starting at 5 o'clock like we usually do for Meet Me at the Diner, we will be starting at 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock. So that's what the deal is. 4 till 5:30-ish will be live on the air. Now, Tuesday and Wednesday, we'll have call-in interviews from artists that are on the road. And then on Thursday and Friday, we will have artists in studio. Always one of my favorite parts to have artists in studio. So you don't want to miss it, but make sure you put down 4 o'clock rather than 5 o'clock. And of course, you know that you can now go back and watch all the videos right there from our website, WCRS1450am.net. We run them live, well, not live, but they're up that day. So instead of having to wait a couple of days for the podcast, we now have our Facebook Live podcast right there on the website. So go back and enjoy those if you ever miss a show. All right, so Calhoun Falls will have nobody working for them as of the 10th. People are dropping like flies over there. They're just dropping out. They're not going to work because they probably don't think they're going to get paid. Lots of problems over there at Calhoun Falls. I am actually surprised that the state has not taken over yet. I know SLED has been investigating everything that is going on. It is a mayoral type of government over there, and I'm sure you've seen some of the stories that have been going on. The mayor just closes out the meeting, says he's done, turns out the lights. They have got them to turn the lights back on so people can get out of the building. But this story is a travesty on what happens when you have the mayoral type of government, meaning they don't have a complete staff over there. Here in Greenwood, of course, we've got our city council, and then we've got a city manager. The county council has a county council, and then they have a county manager. Now, when you have a business that is handling, and the government is a type of business, is handling all these dollars and coming in and going out of money and everything, you need to have somebody in charge that knows how to handle this. Well, in Calhoun Falls, that person is the mayor, and the mayor does not know how to handle money, I would say. He has done a lot of things that are just not right. It looks to me like if they don't get an emergency injunction or something, that City Hall will be closed. The town of Calhoun Falls will shut down its town hall, not City Hall, but town hall operations beginning July 10th. That follows a cascade of staff resignations and a 10th special called council meeting that laid bare a deep government crisis. You know, this story started out with the fact, and I mean, I'll just remember this, that when you go to Abbeville from Calhoun Falls, you have to eat out lunch. That was kind of humorous. But where this story has gone and shown a mayor that allegedly, I guess we better say allegedly, has bought property or used collateral from the town of Calhoun Falls to get loans and this type of thing. This is a problem that definitely and I know SLED is investigating. It's just, when is SLED going to pull the plug? And what happens when SLED pulls the plug on this will be the other question. But as of Wednesday, is that right? Thursday, the 10th, Thursday, they will have nobody running the town of Calhoun Falls unless they are able to talk some of the people that are quitting to stay. But I'm sure that nobody wants to stay because, number one, they're not in a good position. They don't have any money, and the money is not being spent on the things that it should be spent on. What I was saying is that it was rather humorous in the beginning when the mayor said that you had to go to lunch, you had to eat out and have lunch out on the town if you had to go to Abbeville to pick up something. And that was kind of humorous. However, this story has gone more beyond humorous to tragedy for the people of Calhoun Falls. What will happen? What will happen to all their systems, their water, their electricity? All these things are issues that are now facing them. So my heart goes out to them in what they are dealing with there. It is a travesty. So, and the other thing is, it's right up the street from us. Not only there are other communities that have the mayoral government, but see, when you hire a mayor, I don't think you're actually supposed to be hiring an administrator, or I don't believe the people understood that the mayor should have been an administrator, because that is the position of the government there at Calhoun Falls. It is an administration. So, by not having somebody with the experience to be an administrator, it makes it difficult. Now, a lot of smaller towns have this type of government. Calhoun Falls, I don't know, what about 96? What about, I know Saluda has that small town government that can't afford to have an administrator and a mayor. This is what they do. The mayor takes on all roles. But in that case, you need to be looking for a different type of person than a glad-handing politician. You need somebody that has administrative background. And it doesn't sound to me that that is what they are missing over there in 96. So I'm sure that there are going to be charges on this eventually, and it's just a sad state of affairs, that how things are being handled. And of course, not only that, it sucks Abbeville into it, because Abbeville was supplying services over there to Calhoun Falls. They hadn't been paid. This is how this all came to light. They wanted their money. They hadn't been paid. I think it was since September. So this is the story that keeps on giving. And for Renee, that is writing the articles on this for the Index Journal, she certainly has a continuation of a story. All right, so follow that one, and we will follow that one. We're running out of time. I did want to say this. Dr. Mibbs Mosley died back Wednesday, June 25th, just shy of his 95th birthday. I had the pleasure of knowing him, which is part of the reason I bring this up, is that he was another one of those individuals. Although Mibbs couldn't hear, and it became difficult because he loved to come on the radio, but he had a difficult time hearing, and he wouldn't wear hearing aids, so you know where we're going with this one. But he was such a talented man beyond being a doctor. They described him in his obituary as a latter-day Renaissance man. He was skilled at architecture and contracting, drafting plans for his family's home as well as office buildings for his own and other medical practices. Mims was also a master furniture designer and craftsman, building furnishings for his family, his friends, and his church, often from felled hardwood trees given to him by thoughtful friends and neighbors. He was a world traveler and observer, which in many ways inspired him in other of his passions, writing. Along with recording his impressions of the historical sites and natural wonders he visited with his wife Mary and other travel companions, he was an author of a book of fiction and wrote a number of commentaries published by the Index Journal, the Edgefield Advertiser, and the Wall Street Journal. Many folks will also remember his Greenwood Community Theater performance, particularly Harvey, and his portrayal of Harry Truman, A Man of Decision, the one-man play that Mims wrote. And I bring this up because that's how I knew him from his play. We actually had him on the air, and he would actually call me, although some of our conversations were rather one-sided, and tell me what he thought about what was happening in Greenwood when I started with my radio career. I guess that was 2007, maybe 2008, 9, 10. So he lived a long and very fruitful life, and he was a great observer, as it says, and also a very learned man. He certainly brought a lot to Greenwood, and that is why I wanted to mention him. Everyone that lives here in our community brings something to it. But sometimes because of my personal relationship that I had with some of these people, I like to bring them up. So the family will receive visitors on July 20th at the Episcopal Church of the Resurrection at 1 p.m., followed by a service in the church at 2 p.m. on July 20th. The family would like to thank those who cared for Dr. Mobley in his greatest hours of need. In lieu of flowers, memorials may be made to the Citadel Foundation and Connie Maxwell Children's Ministries. So, for a life well lived, Mims Mobley, you were a treasure, a real treasure. All right, so what else do we have here to discuss here this morning? I think I talked about the bear right here on WCRS property here this morning. If you missed that, that was kind of interesting. Bear coming running across the field trying to get ahead of the fireworks. That's what was happening. I'm thinking at first it's a dog as it comes out of the woods because it was kind of dusky, and I was like, what's that dog doing here? And then as I watched this thing getting closer and closer, Penny standing up on her hind feet going, Mom, let me go check this out. And there is a bear, yes, and it ran back, and when I yelled at it, get out of here, you don't belong on my property, he ran into the woods and said, screw you, Ann Eller, and ran on his way. All right, that's another one. All right, a couple more things. I just did want to talk about this thing with Elon Musk. I got to talk a little bit about this. Elon Musk has decided he is going to, Elon Musk has decided to start the America Party. Yes, that's right, the America Party. So, what do you think about this? Do you think that this is something that we should have? Should we have this America Party as a third party? What will this do? What will this do to our two-party system? How serious do you think that this is about a third party? Well, he is bound and determined to make sure that he is relevant, I guess. So Elon Musk celebrates Independence Day by asking if he should start a third party to serve the true will of the people. And as of today, it looks like he has decided to start his own party. And so This is, I don't know. What do you feel about it? 864-229-7984. 864-229-7984. Elon Musk is fit to be tied, I think, about the fact that he was not kept on the inner circle with Donald Trump. Donald Trump probably feels that the best thing he could do while he did have the benefit of Elon Musk and a lot of the cuts and everything, I think he felt was pushed over to were on Elon Musk, and he was able to keep his reputation clean. Now Elon Musk is feeling the sting of a former lover, which has decided to fight back and do something. That is kind of what I see here. Yes, one of our texters says, I think he's having a pity party. He is a spoiled brat, and at times, Trump acts like one too, I think is what she says. So that is very true. That is very true. So what do you think about it? 864-229-7984, or you can message us on our Facebook page. Would love to hear from you. What are you thinking about where this thing with Musk and Trump is going? Should they kiss and make up, or is it too far gone? I think it's too far gone. I think, and of course, they had, the Libertarian Party had asked Musk to come on board. They saw that as a real win for them, and it would have been. It would have been a huge win. But that's not going to happen. That is not going to, I don't think that is going to happen. He would want to be totally in control. And, one of the things that worries me, does Musk go so far on this that he actually hurts himself in his business, both with Tesla and with Twitter? I mean, I think there is a fine line between being involved in politics and being an entrepreneur. So you have to watch that line, and I think I am concerned about what Elon Musk may do to his companies, what he may do to himself. I know some people are saying, oh, no big deal. Let's see. I think he has stepped over the lines of professionalism and let things get personal. That's kind of what I'm trying to say here. You said it better than I did here this morning. So that is true. There's a fine line. He's got his Tesla. He's got dealers out there. He's got people that depend on him for building these cars. And I think what he should have done, in my opinion, was just kept quiet for a while, let the big, beautiful bill. There's going to be problems with the big, beautiful bill. I mean, I'm sorry, if you're a total MAGA, you probably think that there would be nothing wrong with it, but there are going to be problems with it. You know it, and I know it. There'll be problems of implementation. There'll be problems of going over the top on it. But the bottom line is, sometimes it's better to sit back and watch a little bit before you decide to get in the middle of a dust-up and start fighting. And Elon Musk has not learned that. So we'll see where it goes with there, but that's going to be an interesting story to follow. So the last story I think I want to cover, if I can find it here real quick. Where is it? Oh, I've got it right here. I think I've got it right here. They are going to do an audit on the $1.8 billion, the South Carolina. I mean, this is a story that never, in my opinion, it never quits. It just keeps on going. And so let's see. They're doing another audit here. Well, I guess I'm not going to find it. They're doing another audit, and this time it's going to include a lot of different groups from the State House. And that should be most interesting as far as that goes. I guess we'll save that for tomorrow. But anyways, these are the things that are out there. There also is there's a great story about a man, a chihuahua. Oh no, this page hasn't gone away. A man, a chihuahua, and a coyote. And the guy had a coyote was getting ready to take his chihuahua. They were out for a walk. This was somewhere here, I think in South Carolina. I don't know where. And the guy captured it by the tail, threw it in a trash can, put the top on it, and waited for DNR to come and saved his chihuahua. That's the essential part of the story. So, I don't know. I had that story, and it says the story has gone away. So is it true? I don't know. It should be true. But that's another coyote story out there. So be aware of the coyotes. Be aware of the wild bears that are in our area. That is for sure. Hey, we've got a lot more we could talk about, but I think I'm going to give it up. Don't forget this afternoon, 5 p.m., we are going to be live on the air with Aiden Webb on a new song that he is debuting. It's called Dear God. It's a very meaningful song. I understand it has special meaning to him. So looking forward to talking to him about that. 5 to 5:30. I know it's Monday. I don't usually do a show, but we got so much going on. I wanted to try to accommodate it. And he is releasing this one live on WCRS. He is from Honeypath. So you may know him. You may have heard him. He plays all around here. Understand he was down at Fort Jackson for their big 4th of July show that they had. That was quite something. So we're going to be talking to him from 5 to 5:30. 5:30 to 6, we will be talking to who? Oh, you know, we'll be talking to Granger Smith, local focal. He'll be filling us in on all the things that are going to be happening this week with the local focal as being part of the Festival of Discovery, the Blues Cruise. They've got their own thing going upstairs at Howard's. So, I got lots of music. Oh my God, look at this. I've got all kinds of music here. I can't believe we're going to talk to Johnny Rawls. That is one of the people we're going to talk to this week. Johnny Rawls is going to be with us. John Shane, Bruce Katz, Eric Selby, a favorite here at the festival. Bernard Purdy is going to be back on. You know, he has the Purdy effect, the drum effect that everybody uses. Peter Karp, I think, is supposed to be in studio. Veronica Jackson is in studio. Brian Peters, Deuce and a Quarter. I've talked to him many times. Looking forward to seeing him. And Max Hightower from Greenville, who is getting all kinds of acclaim. In fact, I have Max's CD right here. Nothing but the truth. Nothing but the truth. So we are blessed to live in this community that does so many things that enhances our lives here. And as I said, I am blessed to be able to bring all this to you. So have a great day. Remember to tune back in at 5 o'clock right here on WCRS. If you got a question or a comment, you know you can text or call. Don't forget, you always can call and leave a message. 864-229-7984. That's 864-229-7984. I do want to say just one more thing as we finish up. My heart goes out to, I know everybody's hearts go out to what they are dealing with in Texas. I cannot imagine how fast that river rose to have caught everybody. I mean, they had been saying for 12 hours or so that it was going to rise, but I don't think anybody thought it was going to rise to the level that it did. The area is just devastated, and it is horrific about the 27 girls at the camp there that did not get out either. So if you'd like to make a donation, the Salvation Army, the Red Cross, any of these big organizations. They also have an organization that is just for this group. But be careful out there. If you are giving money, make sure you verify that you are giving money for what you want to be able to give it to. So please check that out. But the Salvation Army is always a good one. They are always one of the first on the scene, giving out food, water, shelter, and then as they always do, they will be there long after other places are gone, helping with rent and utilities, helping get the people back whole. But this is going to be a huge undertaking to take care of all that is happening there, and the swiftness of water you can never, ever, ever underestimate. Hey, that's going to do it for me. This is WCRS right here in Greenwood. Have a great day, and make sure you tune in this afternoon. Bye-bye, everybody. Take it away. Take it away.